Hi everybody, I'm Steve Hopf from Ultra Dent Tools, and today I'm going to talk about hammers. We've got 8 different hammers, and we've got a hammer punch kit system. And originally our hammers, we were just using auto body hammers, right? This is just a regular old auto body hammer with a planishing head and a rounded tip. We never even used these for paintless dent repair. We just use these for our punches, for knockdown. Every now and then we may be able to beat something out a little bit on the from underneath, you know, some inner sheet metal or something like that. Sometimes you can put some duct tape onto the head of this thing to protect it. But really just super old school. These things have been around forever. And then we've been using these for 20 years or more. And this is really probably the best hammer, I think, that's just my go-to hammer. And it's just your hard, soft hammer. It's the Vaughan hammer. Craftsman makes these also. It's got a semi-soft rubberized head on one side and a little bit harder plastic head on the other. This thing's super nice. It's balanced just right. It's got just enough weight to be able to really knock down some heavy stuff, crowns and aluminum and whatnot. So super great hammer. And then we got into screw-on tip type of hammers, and these hammers we've made this for quite a few years, and it's got a fiberglass handle and a stainless steel head, and it's got a really nice feel to it. It's got a good grip, very well balanced. It comes with a set of plastic tips and the soft tip cap and the rubberized head too, so that one's really cool. We've got a blending hammer also there, again, same fiberglass handle, very nice rubberized grip, lightweight aluminum head, and it's very well balanced. So it's actually, it's not your super fancy blending hammer like all these other ones with all the fancy wood stuff, but it really is a very good blending hammer. And then we've got a couple of dead blow hammers. This one is got the screw-on tips. It's got a kind of a soft rubberized head on one side and a little bit harder plastic head on the other. And then we've got a solid, just a straight dead blow hammer. It's a very small hammer, but some guys like using these. These are pretty good. They're balanced pretty nicely. And then we've got our carbon fiber hammer. This is just really mostly used for blending, but you could use it for other things too. But it's adjustable. It's got a locking collet on the inside of it, so you can adjust it out and then just twist it and lock it. It's got a double screw-on head that allows you to put tips on either side. And it's got a rubberized ball grip handle on the other side too. And this thing's neat because you can take this thing off and use it for a tip on your rods too. It's got the 5/16 18 thread on that, so that works out real well. You can use it as a tip for pushing out big soft dents, and it works as a really good grip. So super cool. You can buy this hammer by itself or with the kit with the tips. And so this series of tips comes with this hammer in a kit. Fast PDR Tools makes a very nice blending hammer that's got highly polished stainless steel heads on it. It's got a little smaller one and then a little bit more standard blending hammer head on this side, and it comes with a series of tips. It's got some rubberized tips, and it does come with a punch. So that's a really cool setup right there. Very, very good quality. And then we've got our A26 HPK hammer punch kit that's got the multi-tip punch that we use with it. And what you do with this, you can actually put these in the hammer handle, screw on the ring, and then now you've got, once you locked it in, now you've got basically a hammer handle that you can use this as a hammer or you can use it as a knockdown punch. So it's pretty multifunctional, and these come in an 18, 24, and 36 inch length. And so we're going to demonstrate these hammers, and then you guys can see how they're used. Okay, so the auto body hammer is nice for really high, super sharp highs, like especially on aluminum or something. So if you really had to really drive on something, it's got this hammer has the most weight out of all of our hammers. And so if I had a really severe high spot, it's gonna allow me enough driving force to really be able to knock something down nicely. I'm going to want a rubberized head on a punch, because if I'm using a plastic head type of punch, it's going to be loud, and I don't want that for the customer. I don't want to have to listen to that. So you could always duct tape these, but the rubberized head punches are great. They're super quiet and they grip better. They don't slip as much. So you have a lot more accuracy and control with it, because it's sticking when you hit it. It's not slipping around. So the standard hard soft hammer is great because it's got the rubberized heads. It's quiet when you use it to knock down, and it grips nicely. It's not going to slip around. And there again, I love the weight, and it's got enough driving force to really knock down, and like aluminum and super sharp highs. It will allow you to apply enough force to some of these sharper highs without any trouble whatsoever. So great hammer. So our screw-on tip stainless steel head hammer has definitely got some more weight to it, but it's not quite as heavy as the auto body hammer. So it's pretty good. I like it. It's got a good feel to it, and it's got enough weight to it to where you can really drive on some of the sharper, nastier highs. And it's got a nice big wide head on it, so especially if you're using my multi-tip punch, you really can't go wrong by having that big wide head on it, on this punch head with the rubber, because it's just the perfect match, and it just won't slip off or anything like that. And then you've got the other option to be able to blend with this. You can put even the rubberized tip on this one and blend with it. It works good. This is a nice setup right here. You can blend crowns very nicely with that. So very good hammer, very well balanced, and got a lot of weight behind it. And so our original blending hammer is nice. This is kind of give you an idea of a typical setup where you've got like a plastic ball on one side, and then like the big 3/4 inch rubberized soft tip on the other end. Very good for blending. You could blend crowns with this, or you could do roof rails with like the plastic head. So super well balanced, lightweight. It's got a great feel to it. Really just as good as almost any blending hammer that I've ever put my hands on. So I highly recommend this for blending, and the price is right on it too. Our double-sided screw-on tip dead blow hammer is real nice, because this one's gonna be a little bit more forgiving for crowns mostly. So when you've got crowns, you've got the white side is actually a little bit softer than the black side. The black side's a little bit harder plastic, and this is more of a rubberized dead blow tip. So you can use this tip for blending softer crowns. And then if you want to be a little bit more aggressive with this side, and because of the fact that this hammer is kind of light, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving, so it's not going to do quite as much damage. So it's going to work out real well for mostly crowns. The standard dead blow hammer, most guys that use this hammer are going to use it to knock down. I would want to use, if I'm going to use this kind of a hammer, it's a little bit lighter and smaller, so some guys like that just because they have a little bit more control and they're not going to over hit with this hammer. So you can use this, but I would recommend using it with a rubberized head punch. That will give you definitely more control and allow you to not slip with it, but still pretty well balanced, enough weight. It's got enough weight to actually do a pretty good job on knocking these guys down. So not a bad hammer, just a little bit smaller. And there again, it's just a matter of preference with that hammer. Okay, so with our carbon fiber blending hammer, it's really not going to be used for knocking down with a punch per se. This is more of a blending hammer. It just really doesn't have enough weight behind it. So that's not normally what you're going to use it for, but this would be a typical setup of how you would use it. Super nice blending head with the 3/4 inch rubberized soft tip, and then a little bit more, precise soft tip. You can use that to blend with. The other thing you can use is you can use a hammer on the end of it, and you can blend like that. So there's ways to blend. You don't really necessarily just have to always just be blending by reaching out without a hammer. You can use a hammer on it, and you can use it either way. But there again, super multifunctional, adjustable. You got a lot of different variety of length, and you can use the backside ball tip to hammer with. And there again, we can use this as a tip on some of our rods for bigger, softer dents. So super nice hammer, very lightweight, got a great feel to it. And then again, you can get it with the tips or by itself. All right, so the fast PDR blending hammer isn't really going to be used to knock down per se. It's just really pretty much just a blending hammer. So this is maybe a typical setup where you would have your standard stainless steel blending head on one side, and then maybe a softer rubberized head on the other. And same thing. It's just going to be, you can reach out with a lot of control and blend with it without a hammer, or you could use a hammer and you could blend with it that way as well. And there again, this thing is super well balanced, got a great grip, O-ring handles, and it's got magnets so that it'll stay put. Very, very high quality hammer. Okay, so with the Ultra Handle Punch Kit, this is one of the setups that I like. I can use this for blending. So I've got basically one of the rubberized soft tips on the bottom side, and I can come in and controllably knock down crowns perfectly with this. I can reach way out. It's very nice to have that set up. And then my normal setup would be just with a sharp plastic tip, and then I would just reach out in most cases for my finish work, and then that way I can really get down in gun sight, and I would never be able to reach that far out with my hand to be able to hold that punch and hit it and be able to gun sight it at the same time. So that's mostly what these things are used for. You can use them to blend with even separately. A lot of times on hail damaged cars, on SUVs and vans and whatnot, you can actually even knock down just even with the handle itself without a hammer. So it's very, very useful setup and multifunctional. So now that you guys have seen the characteristics of the variety of different hammers that we offer, hopefully this will help you guys choose the optimal hammer for you in your paintless dent repair. Please come check us out at ultradenttools.com.